Assimilation of subject's consciousness. Initial symptoms, sharp pain and brainstem that's centered on insertion point. Over time, degradation of the ego generates strong suicidal tendencies. They lose who they are, but not me. Something keeps me from staying completely within.
Not content with the growing trend of action recently plaguing survival horror games, Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil, has returned to the genre he helped define nearly 2 decades ago. The Evil Within is a love letter to fans tired of explosions and eager for a more intimate horror experience. The tale starts with Detective Sebastian Castellanos and his partners responding to a call at Beacon Mental Hospital. They arrive at the grisly scene to find police and hospital staff horribly mutilated, and then their insanity begins. Bizarre and disturbing creatures appear frequently to torment Sebastian, including uniquely terrifying boss encounters. The pacing is pitch perfect, with a majority of sections focusing on stealth and exploration, while other moments engage you in frantic enemy encounters. There's a real sense of discovery, and despite being on the run to survive, you can't help but stop to take in each surprising new location.
There can be no mistake. This one is compatible.
Gameplay retains some of the fundamentals of Mikami's past games. Ammo is precious and not to be wasted. Aiming for effective headshots leaves you vulnerable, and melee attacks are used defensively to buy time when an enemy gets too close. Torches and axes can also be picked up from fallen foes and offer graphic one-hit kills. When an enemy is finally brought down, their body can be torched with matches to ensure they don't rise from the dead. Managing resources is critical for the duration of the game, which helps keep things tense. A wasted shot can sometimes feel worse than taking a knife to the chest. Combat is visceral and graphic. There are 5 main weapon types, including shotguns, sniper rifles, and grenades, with a few surprise pickups near the end. The revolver is perfect for dealing with lesser enemies capable of blowing their heads apart with a few well-aimed shots. Shooting their leg can knock them down, creating an opportunity to burn their body with a match. If timed correctly, the corpse's flames can set other enemies on fire, a tactic that adds another layer of strategy to the tense enemy encounters. The most distinct and important weapon, however, is the Agony Crossbow, which uses a variety of bolts that can stun, blind, explode, and even freeze enemies. The freeze bolts are especially satisfying as groups of enemies shatter into pieces. Bolts can also be shot onto surfaces to create dynamic traps and give you a tactical edge in combat by securing different entry points. The variety of options ensures a thoughtful approach to combat depending on each situation. Despite so many ways to dispatch your enemies, open combat should be avoided whenever possible. Playing stealthy can vastly improve your odds of survival. Bottles can be thrown to distract enemies, and successfully sneaking up on most foes is rewarded with a gruesome instant kill. If discovered, Sebastian can hide in a number of locations, including closets, behind curtains, and under tables to avoid detection.
How many of these things are there?
Rather than gold, dollars, or pesetas, the Evil Within uses brain gel as currency, with stashes found throughout the environment and collected from the corpses of defeated enemies. By returning to a peculiar hub zone watched over by an enigmatic nurse, you can use the gel to upgrade health, melee damage, and individual weapon stats, such as fire rate, reload speed, and damage. Since these upgrades feel significant and empowering, you may find yourself weighing the risks of grabbing dangerously placed canisters. Additionally, the hub contains lockers that can be opened with hidden keys, providing you with much-needed supplies you can snag in dire circumstances or save for later. Finding these safe havens offers a brief respite from the constant tension and are the only place you can save your progress. Ink ribbons are not required. Every enemy encounter gives a sense that it's possible to overcome overwhelming odds. The majority of monsters are flesh and blood, implying that with enough force they can be brought down, but that same vulnerability applies to Sebastian. Being able to fight back is exhilarating, but not always the best course of action. New and unusual monsters periodically make shocking appearances, each with varying weaknesses, but fighting these disturbing foes is always a chilling endeavor. Along with foul creatures, Sebastian must also contend with a wide array of traps in the form of tripwires, alarms, landmines, and the like. Disarming these can provide valuable parts to craft agony bolts, but takes precious time and leaves you at risk. Get it wrong, and a triggered device can cause severe damage and alert nearby enemies. The environments are richly detailed and immersive, with a classic aesthetic evocative of Mikami's previous works. Stark lighting, creeping fog, and dilapidated interiors convey a tone of fear and saturate your senses in terrible nightmares. The cinematic aspect ratio and limited HUD help showcase the striking visuals and disturbing monsters that inhabit them. Completing the 15-hour journey unlocks New Game Plus to further increase Sebastian's skills, increase difficulty settings that include a one-hit death, and special weapons not seen in the campaign.
So many new admissions, and not a single discharge.
The Evil Within is a survival horror masterpiece. Anyone concerned this is just another action game soaked in blood needn't worry. Tense pacing, stunning atmosphere, and terrifying enemy encounters come together to create a journey you may never forget.